last thing we're going to hit on for this game before we move over to the Cowboys game is just, not sure if any of us knew long snappers were this important. As you probably already know if you're listening to the podcast, Clark Harris likely out for the season with a bicep tear. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, so bicep tear. So we're not going to see him. And for sake of not butchering his name, I'm just going to call him Cal, our backup long snapper that's on the practice squad. He got activated Tuesday or Monday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like as soon as they could.
Yeah, so pretty much, I mean, the reason you obviously, Scott alluded to it before, the blocked PAT, not really on the long snapper. It makes you kind of wonder, though, with everything else going askew, did he snap it before they were set or something, or was Drew Sample really just not ready at all for that rep, or who knows? But then you see the 2 high snaps in a row that probably mess up Evans' rhythm. I really don't. That's the only explanation I have for it. Those aren't field goals that Evan McPherson misses. So when it comes down to milliseconds, you hear a lot of guys talk about that really mattering. Like you see the laces out thing, which obviously makes a little more sense because you're kicking the ball in a different spot. But those snaps matter when you're seeing the ball come in at a weird angle. I mean, the last one is the only thing that I really harp on because I do think that Kevin should have killed it. I don't think he should have. When he saw that snap, and I mean, is that on Kevin or is that on Zach? To me, I think if you're already going into that having a shaky, your long snapper's out, you've already seen one get missed because of a bad snap. Do you really go into that without attempting to move the ball a little bit better? But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, it's just kind of wild to me how much a long snapper impacted the end of this game.
Yeah, I it's one of those things too where like it's such almost like a niche position. Like it's so like uncommon. Like you're not on the field all that much. You don't think about like the long snapper getting hurt, and then it happens, and you're just kind of like, wait, what do we do now? And that's not necessarily what it felt like because I'm sure that Wilcox knew he's the backup long snapper, but one of the things that I had noticed is I don't think Pittsburgh had given that look on any extra points or PATs because unlike some of the ones earlier, like there was even no one on the left side. So I don't know if Sample just like completely missed, like didn't realize, picked the wrong guy. But truly, the kicking game at the end, did you guys see the lady that was just puking all over herself?
Yeah, I did.
Did you guys didn't see that of the lady in the stands just puking on herself at the Bengals game?
I didn't.
It's such a great video. So yeah.
That's great.
So just to paint you a picture here, Eli, it's this like mildly trailer trash looking lady that has definitely had a few too many beers, and she's like literally just like puking like in front of her. But the best part, and I think that no one's talking about, is the guy in front of her is in like a neck brace and like can't look back to see what's going on. So it's like the perfect puke on yourself spot. Like you're gonna puke on yourself, like no one can really see you do it. So it's disgusting. But anyways, you gotta watch it. But yes, the kicking and special teams at the end, that video is kind of how I feel.
Yeah, I mean that whole game, that's just kind of what it was. But I don't know. The long snapper is obviously like it's a big deal, but extra point, I don't think it has any effect on the game. I mean, and also like it's Drew Sample, but he's kind of given 2 guys to block, and I'm not gonna like just blame him necessarily because I'm not sure scheme they're trying to run and if he's supposed to have both or whatever. But I mean, it's one of those guys like when you're playing Madden, like when you're playing the Steelers, you got to know where JJ Watt or TJ Watt is. You got to know where Cam Edward is. You got to know where Minka is. It's Minka Fitzpatrick. Put your hands on him. It's like if there's a guy that's going to make a play, it's him. So that was unfortunate. The overtime thing, like, yeah, the laces are in. There was a high snap. The way we all talk about Evan, when it's a 29-yarder and he might have missed by more than the length was, that's not great. So I also, in general, like, we're on a backup long snapper. Why the hell are we settling for, a field goal? Like, I get it, but also, like, I don't know. It's first down. You ran the ball and got nothing, and then second down we run a little sling out to Drew Sample. Then we decide to kick. Like I definitely wanted to see the offense try to score. I mean, I'm not saying get risky and I get Burrow out a lot of picks, but I mean, pound the rock, see if we can get some yards or do something. So I wasn't thrilled with that. And then the mistake I don't think anyone's talking about that people should be talking about are twice in that game Burrow took awful sacks on third down. One was he takes a sack in like the first quarter, and Evan McPherson bails him out with the longest kick in Bengals history. That kind of got overshadowed. And then the second in overtime where P. Ryan picks up the ball. You can't advance a fumble. Like, that's a rule. I mean, I knew it was a rule. I don't think it is meant for that setting, but, like, that's the rule. I don't have a huge complaint with that. But, I mean, that's what you're going to get with Burrow. He holds on the ball. Like, he's looking downfield to make plays. Like, you got to take the good with the bad sometimes. But, I mean, you can't do it in that situation. You just can't, because we had to punt, and then the Steelers end up winning the game at the buzzer. But I mean, like, even if it's a long kick and we don't have long snapper, I'd rather take a chance to try and win it than put the white flag up and concede best case we're hoping for a tie. So I don't know. Like, that game was just so wonky though too. I'm trying to take everything with a grain of salt from that game because. Like it was like the Packers game last year. Like, you're there and it just felt weird. Like, everything it felt like a weird game. So I don't think you can take tons from it.